Hi everyone, welcome to the Dread and the Shabin, a podcast for those who want to be informed, inspired, and positively impacted. I am your host, Tikea the Shabin, alongside our co-host, Delroy.
Delroy the Dread. Hello, Tiki. What's up?
I'm good,
All
enjoying the
right, cool.
weekend.
Nice, nice. I'm
And
excited
to,
about today's podcast.
yes, so today we're joined by the incredibly brave Miss Lara Patrice Green, who has 35 years of um, Yes, right. With 35 years, she is an entrepreneur and owner of Lanalas,
Lana.
Lanalas, Lanalas,
Lana.
Lanalas,
Yeah.
Lanalas. My tongue tied. Confections, okay. Pastry business specializing in customized cakes. She's a mother and mental health awareness advocate and prides herself on being open minded, honest, and straightforward, not one to keep things on her chest, right? And in not any topic is never TMI. Okay, but Lana is here with us today to speak about a very sensitive topic. Lana is a survivor of SA who will be sharing her story first today, and we are honored to have her join us. Okay, so welcome, Lana. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, welcome. Yes, and it's a pleasure to have you this afternoon. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, so thank you so much for being here today. And to start, could you share a bit more with us about what motivated you to open up and share your story publicly?
Um. Okay, so I'm pressing charges against my attacker, and so every time I have to go to court, I feel like I need support. Now, for the past couple of years, I have been reaching out to Facebook and my friends and family, my Facebook friends and family for support for certain things like my mother's death and my father's passing as well, and just emotional support. So
Right.
I decided it would help me back then. So let me try it again for support when I need to go to court because I've been getting anxiety, stress, cannot sleep properly, emotional, and it's like it's just me alone. So I reached out for support and then I asked for positive energy and thoughts and stuff for that day. And then the outpouring of comfort that I got from people that it made me feel loved and seen. And so I decided, okay, they need to know why I need the support. Especially as the case keeps on getting adjourned and adjourned and adjourned. And it was really, really frustrating. So I needed to speak about it. So I decided to open up about it.
Right.
Yes.
And we really were very proud of you for, even coming forward. And so we'll ask you to share a story first, in whatever way that makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, do not jeopardize your cases. So no deep details. There's certain things you cannot say. So, but go right ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Let me try and summarize it so I will not give details.
Okay, cool.
All right. So 2 years ago, that's how long it's been adjourned. In 2023, that was February, I was attacked by this person that I know of in a great relationship, friendship with for 10 years prior to that date. And we never had no problems. We used to date for maybe like 2 months or so. And I decided to end things because I found out that the person was doing cocaine. And alcohol, I know. how to deal with people on alcohol, marijuana, but cocaine and other drugs I don't know about. So I decided to ease back when I remained friends with the person. So fast forward to the night. The person was trying to, I don't know if I can say this, but anyhow, fast forward to later on in that night, the person pulled a knife on me. Um, when I saw the knife by my, not sure if I can say this. When I saw the knife, I started to tremble. Like my body decided to shake. I could not stop shaking. And mind you, this is like 2 months or month and some weeks after we had the brutal murder of Velma Vermont and Miss Charles from Mount Prosper. And that was just fresh in my mind. And I'm just checking, look where I'm going to die tonight. And I I prayed to my mother because since my mother died, I no longer believe in God. And so I prayed to my mother for her to protect me and protect my son because I didn't want him to see my body. And I just complied with what he wanted. He entered me with his penis. So we have actual rape took place. Um, yeah, eventually he left. I wasn't going to press charges. I was going to see if I could, like, okay, just get a restraining order against him, basically. But I spoke to a friend, and that friend encouraged me to call the police because before the guy left, he said that like I was trying to plead with him for for it not to happen where it was happening and not against my will. So it's like I was trying to like read the situation, trying to comfort this person because they seemed unhinged and emotional because at one point he was sobbing on my shoulder, um, holding his face, his shoulders was crying, but I'm shaking, sorry. So it's like, what do I say? What can I say? Can I even move? I remember I tried to take a step away from him and he's like, don't move. So me, I tried to tell him, okay, not here. If you want me to promise to come by you, then I'll come by you because you know me, I keep my promises and whatever. And then he said, you you wouldn't come by me. You know why you wouldn't come by me? Because almost so my wife is dead inside the house. And that does throw me off. So when I told that to my friend told me if as a psychology student, because I was doing psychology in college at the time, if I don't feel like I should get the police to do a welfare check on the children because he's married with 2 children. And so I did. Eventually, the police came at my home. They took my statements. They went to look for his house because they didn't know where he lives. But don't make us small. Everybody knows somebody that knows
Right,
somebody.
right.
So they found the wife and the children fine, getting ready for school because it was a Friday morning. And when they reported that to me, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to press charges because that police officer was telling me like, why would you want to do like the restraining order? Because the restraining order is just a piece of paper. So in my naivety, I was like thinking, okay, that piece of paper has some weight. Like, you know, you have a restraining order against somebody, and then it's like, okay, if that person attacks you, at least you can defend yourself, and if anything, at least you know the name was there already in the system because of
Right.
some complication. But stupid me again, thinking the system actually works. So I decided to press charges, and went through a whole process. We they eventually arrested him. They had this thing they call a confrontation where they put you in the same room with your attacker,
Right. I know that. Yes.
and it's just crazy. I honestly understand why they do it, but it's crazy. Um, so the moment that we got the office female officer and myself were in the room already, and then a male officer brought him into the room, and they put him to sit down like on the same side as me,
What?
and
Not
yeah,
across the table?
not yet. So they
Oh,
put him
okay.
on the same side as me, and the other officer was across the table opposite the other officer. And I'm there. She's like, I don't know. I think she was just killing time, wasting time to see how I would react,
Oh.
basically. So I was, I started to shake, like a little bit shaking, trembling, and then tears started coming on my face because I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying to be strong so I can do my statement. And then that's when she told me, okay, there's paper towel behind me. I can take some. And they exchanged seats. The guy and the police officer exchanged seats, and she shifted her monitor so I wouldn't be able to see. So while I'm giving my statement, I have this pen in my hand and I'm like pressing it into my palm so I
Right.
can focus on that pain and not the memories, basically, and the trauma I was feeling. And when I went to court, I was doing the same thing. I had this pen with me all the time, just pressing it into my hand because of the fear, the overwhelming fear that came with that. But it's soon, it's not soon, no, it eventually stopped. Yeah.
So, so you had to give your statement while he was there, or they took him out of the room?
No, while he was there. So I did an original statement the day of the crime, and then eventually he was arrested maybe like a week or so later, and then I had to give my statement again in front of him, and then he was asked if he had anything to refute or add to the statement or whatever and stuff. Yeah,
Did he make any comments? I don't know what he said, but did he make any comments?
he did make a comment. Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
I just find it so weird because I've never really heard that done before.
I think in the States, what happens is that they make you see your attacker first,
A
a two-way
screen.
mirror.
Yeah, right, right.
So you're never actually face to face or in the exact same room with the person. So we need to get on board with that. With the restraining order now, they told me when I went to court, I couldn't get the restraining order because I
Even
was,
with the crime?
even with the crime, I couldn't get a restraining order because I was not in a relationship with the person for at least a year. I was not related to the person. Um, what else was it? I think that was it.
Okay.
That's so weird.
I didn't live with the person or anything like that, so I couldn't get a restraining order against the person. I'm like that, but that not making sense. And I was
But
told of a similar case with somebody else in a village where she was attacked and she couldn't get a restraining order, even though she knows the attacker. So what is left for people like us
I
in
never
this?
knew that was a criteria for a restraining order and not having to know the person or be in a relationship with the person for a
Absolutely,
year. I
yeah,
never knew. Okay, I news to me.
yeah. That is something that we need to advocate for the laws to be updated because in this modern times
Definitely.
and days, it's crazy because you
Yeah,
have
because I
cyberbullying.
mean, anybody could attack you. Anybody could attack you. It could be a stranger that was probably stalking you,
Right.
could attack
Yeah,
you, and you want
yeah.
to put a restraining order against them. So you couldn't put it because you don't know them and because you're not living with them or something. That not
You
even
don't have
making
a
sense.
relationship with it. Exactly. It's outdated laws that needs to be updated.
So after after that happened, like what emotional or mental health challenges you would say you have faced since then?
PTSD. Um, Serious PTSD. I couldn't leave my house nighttime. Like I have, while you leave, you have to go up a flight of steps and then go down a flight of steps before you meet the road. There's a gate there and you have to meet the road. So like nighttime, the rubbish truck will pass and it's like I don't want to leave my door to reach by the step to go up the step to go down the step. So it's like I had to send my son to put the rubbish by the road. And then eventually, like maybe after 2 weeks of psyching myself up, is like I could make it to the gate. And then another while again before I could make it outside on the road nighttime. But I was at that pen. That pen was my weapon of choice because I didn't want to be caught with a knife on me for them to say it's premeditated or whatever. That a
Right,
pen, that pen was my emotional comfort right there. So I had to like psych myself up. I had to do the daily mantras, post it online and stuff, saying I'm stronger than I know. This too shall pass. What else? Um, yeah, I think I said I did not deserve what happened to me or something of the sort. But I'm stronger than I know. That was the one.
That was the one that helped the most.
Yeah, yeah.
and have you like received any support in any way from like family, friends, maybe even therapy?
Well, I didn't tell my family except for my little brother because he was there the night before where we encountered the person. So he gave his statement as well to the police. So he knew, and I didn't tell him until not him. Sorry, he ended up making it slip to my sister, older sister, that we had to go to court, and took me months after before I told her anything. Um, I think I told my older brother first because after the guy got released from prison, his wife paid his bill. So they moved to a village where my older brother is staying, and he would ill my older brother, but my brother didn't know. So I let my brother know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, Therapy. I have not done actual therapy. It's something I wanted to do, and when I was planning on doing it, my at school because it's free for students. My attacker was at college as well, doing a course for tour guide.
Yeah, I remember you posted something about that on
Yeah.
social media. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be a tour guide and he's there at state college and I'm at state college and I'm like, what is he doing there? He's done his school. He is for the last I knew he was a security guard. And what is he doing there? So I inquired and I found out that he was trying to be certified to be a tour guide. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Right.
How can you have somebody that has a court case for SA and
Yeah,
have them? But unfortunately, unless the person is convicted of the crime and does time, I believe, or whatever, just convicted, then it's not on their police record.
Right.
And
Right.
so they can have a clean police record, even if they did something, and they can
yeah.
apply for any job. So this is basically why I'm pushing the case so that he can be convicted and he can show up on his police record so he doesn't have access to certain jobs where he'll be alone with certain people, especially females.
Right. Because being a tour guide means you are basically exposed to being in nature, especially in Dominica in nature, and it could be
Yep,
a one individual tour. It doesn't have, and
Yeah,
that
yep,
putting their lives at risk, and
yeah, because
not just lives of Dominicans, but lives of tourists as well. Because I
and
mean,
future bad name for Dominicans as well.
right,
and after all of that, and considering that it doesn't seem like you've had much support in terms of like a close circle, how would you say like healing has been going for you?
There are good days, and then it have bad days, especially when court is coming up.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a close friend that I used to talk to, but then he moved away. Um, he's out of state, so it's annoying. It's very annoying because I would go to him and not okay. I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Can I see you? I need a hug." So hugs are my thing. So
Right,
he would
right.
give like so many hugs, and I'd feel better after. But like they say, you have to for a hug to take effect, it has to be like 20 seconds or more, right? For
Right.
dopamine and whatever to be
Exchange
released.
for the exchange, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he gives so many hugs when he puts positive energy into the hug
Hmm.
and good intentions and like hopes and whatever you want for the person. And that's how I do my hugs as well. So it's like I give good hugs, but I can't hug myself.
Right.
So he was a major part of my support system, and then he left, and that just threw me off.
Hmm.
So
Have you
that's why
found
I end
me?
up that's why I end up reaching out to Facebook for positive energy. So that helps. Mhm. Yeah.
Have you found any other coping mechanism in terms of besides the hug? Anything else? I know you spoke about the pen, but anything else that you
Oh,
utilize?
sorry. Last week when I had to go to court, I realized I was spiraling for a multitude of reasons, and I realized like anger was one of them. I only realized anger was one of my reasons on Monday of this week because I was like, why am I spiraling? Why is this week harder than the other weeks? What is different? So I asked myself this thing. So I do my own therapy, and I realized I was angry with the case being adjourned so
Yeah.
many times and having to go to court to say something and it's not happening. It's been 2 years. I mean, it's more than 2 years, but shish, it's frustrating. So all this now is starting to build up this anger in me, and I need to like get it out. I realized I drank a lot last week. I didn't eat as
Water?
much. I drank a lot of alcohol last week.
Oh, alcohol.
Yeah, so I didn't like it, and I realized I wasn't eating because of the anxiety. So I was getting a little tipsy too fast. I didn't get drunk, because I didn't want to reach that stage. So I drank water in
Right.
between. So I hung out with my girls. We laughed a lot. We like distractions basically.
Right.
Right.
But then at the end of the day, at the end of the night, I'm by myself and I have
Yeah.
to face this thing. So I have to like self-analyze what's going on, why am I angry and stuff, and how can I go about doing it. I screamed, and then I do this thing where I look for distractions in people by getting to know new people. So I went on Tinder where I get to know a lot of new people, and matched with this French person, and we started to talk, and it was like a whole bunch of laughter. It was really, really funny, and I appreciated it. So I told him that day that I was pissed and I was angry, but then talking to him has made me started to make me laugh a lot, and then it's calming down my anger. Even
Yeah.
throughout the week, I realized I was less angry and less irritated, or even the case wasn't on my mind.
Hmm.
Even though it's approaching in less than a month, wasn't on my mind. So that was good. So I realized like human laughter helps a lot of.
Yeah, laughter, probably releases dopamine and make you feel good and whatnot. But I was going to ask you about how you've been navigating relationships, but based on what you've been saying, because for some survivors and so on, they might find it hard to,
To build connections, if you
yeah,
will.
to build a
Yeah.
connection with the opposite sex after something like that, or they might find it difficult to even be around them. But in your case, it seems that you can still
Yeah,
navigate
because I treat
relationship
people
regularly.
as individuals. I treat them how they treat me.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, though, when that just happened, it's like I got asked out by this guy I've known for years, and it just threw me off because I knew this
yeah,
person for years, and then they did this to me. So it's like I shied away from people that I knew before, basically. So I started to like interact with new people.
right. Because then that was it. Just created a whole trauma for you of
Yeah,
people you already knew, and
yeah,
that's what they
yeah,
did to you. So now it's better you probably just meet new people and so on.
yep, yep. But I still try to treat people as individuals and not because of a gender or a location where they're from or family dynamics or whatever.
Yeah. So what misconceptions do you think people have about survivors of SA, or what misconceptions you realize people probably
about
had of you, like if they
you, yeah.
found out about your situation, what misconceptions you realize they had?
A few, a few people, I won't say a few stupid people, but yes, a few stupid people
You can
did.
be frank. You can be frank.
I'm not sure what I can and cannot say,
You
like
can say, you
we
can
have like
say.
a lot of beep in songs over certain words.
Yeah,
So a lot of stupid people did make the comments. You sure you didn't want it? Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
always
I
got that. Yeah.
yeah, I cut them off. Like I literally cut them off. Like if you can think that, then you're not a person I want in my life.
True, true.
Um, sexual assault people, um, they tend to think like, oh, just give in, or they blame the victim. They be like, oh, but you were dressed this way, and you were all that time, you were getting on a
yeah,
certain way. Um, what else? Why did you let the person into your home? Why did you this? Why did you touch him a certain way? Did you flirt with him? It's like you blame the victim, but
right.
you're not putting the accountability on the person that did the action, because no was said, no consent was given, but yet you still went ahead and you took advantage of the person, you threatened the person and whatnot. So my issue with that is that they blame the victim and they like to speak on things they have no idea
Right
about.
there.
Right.
Right.
No idea
Sometimes
about. And they always think like they know. Like, oh, you couldn't look at your size, you couldn't overpower the person. No, I couldn't overpower the person. First of all, the person have a
a
knife to
knife.
my throat. I'm worried about my child. If I'm going to survive to see my child grow up. Look at what happened just 2 months ago. Like, it's crippling.
Yeah, a lot of people always have like thoughts about things they have no idea of, they've never experienced. Or
Yep,
sometimes it could just be because that they know the person and they're thinking, oh well, the person so well, the person so nice or whatever. So they
yep,
think to themselves, well, the person could never do that and so on.
yep.
But especially, or for example, the person's so nice. I bet a lot of them didn't know the person on drugs, right? And and people on drugs and so on, you don't know what they can do.
That's
So
true.
at the same time,
It's
you know,
exact. It's exactly most times the person you think that's nice is the person that will do, or the most sexual assault cases actually it's either within the family or with somebody that you already know, somebody that you trust, somebody that
Yep.
you are open with. So it's
Someone
usually
that's around you a lot.
right. It's usually the person that is you figure that is very nice, that is more culpable in that case.
yeah, because even with cases like Didi and Cassie right now, the kind of comments people making on social media right now,
Hmm.
I'm just like,
Uh,
I
are
thought
you really
about
serious?
you. I thought
I
about
just
you.
tell myself sometimes that people will be people and they will say what they have to say, and some I try to filter certain opinions that I see and say that they don't probably they don't know any better. But in terms of that case in particular, a lot of people have opened my eyes to what their perceptions, and
Yeah.
Yep,
basically
yep,
I
yep,
can
yep.
tell that they themselves don't support survivors of sexual assault, because they are not putting themselves in the person's shoes, and they're just thinking of things as black and white. But there are so
Yeah.
many nuances that go on in behind the scenes. There's a power dynamic, there's control, there's money, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes in relation to sexual assault. And like Lana said, she had known that person, so there was a level of trust
Yeah.
before that incident. So all that plays a role, or plays a part in what occurs. So we have to find a way to empathize with people who have been through situations like that, and how find ways to offer support. But in terms of that, Alana, what advice would you give to another survivor? If somebody has gone through something similar, what advice would you give them in terms of coping, in terms of maybe even reporting the case to the police and so forth?
Oh, I would encourage them to report the case first of all because that person needs to be held accountable for what they did. And
That's
the
right.
only way that can happen is if they have a conviction on their police record for that crime, and they won't be able to have access to people. We are our sisters keepers, and we need to stand for each other. And we don't something happen to us, so happen to other people. And if we know that this person did something, then we need to say something. We need more support um teams for like you have Alcoholics Anonymous and them kind of stuff like that. So we need
Right, right.
support teams like that for people. Even with domestic violence, we had this thing before with the home for battered women.
Yes, yes.
I have no idea what it is now, if it still exists. I remember staying there as a child with my mother for maybe a couple of weeks or so. I just I wanted to go home, and I had my teddy bear. I wanted to go home. But yeah, um, we need places like that where people can eventually go to if they want to escape something, a dire situation like that. Um, we need parents to teach their children from young no is no, and to accept that and not try and push and whatever. Even with my son, it's like I'm having this conversation with him on different times of the year, different years and stuff. It's like it's not just one conversation and done. It's you have to repeat in their ears because they have friends that coming
Yeah.
from certain areas that they are exposed to certain things and their parents do not filter certain stuff. So it's like they bring that to your children and you don't think like okay you raise your child a certain way, but they have other influences and they're trying to fit in or they're peer pressured into certain things. So all that in it. So support, yeah, we need a in-person support group. Again, I believe in hugs. Yeah, I really believe in hugs.
We can call the group hugs. Let's call it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So even if you can't make it in person, you can do it online or something.
Yeah, right. A virtual forum or something. It can be
Yeah.
an anonymous forum too, so
Yeah.
there's no identification of persons. You just come in on a designated day and time, and you offer support, share your story, and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of those things would probably make it easier for survivors to come forward, but also, knowing that things are put in place to protect them, and that if they do come forward, that justice will be served, right?
Yep.
So then what changes do you think we need to make to better support survivors of SA in terms of, our legal system or
The legal system
social
for sure.
system?
The legal system for sure because we have a lot of outdated laws, like I said before, the restraining order. Um,
Even the
even
confrontation. Yeah, I think
even
that should change as well.
yeah, that should change. I can understand why they have it because there are women that actually make up stories about these things and lie about these things. So that in its sense is that's the only positive I can say about that situation. That's the only thing. That's why I didn't really I'm not blasting it too much because
Yeah, they probably just need to invest in a
Two-way mirror.
yeah two-way
something,
mirror. Yeah.
yeah, the laws. The laws need to change. I don't know what exactly can be done for like the like okay, so in my case where it's 2 years now and it keep on being a journey, something needs to be done where this it can speed up because it took how long for the prosecutor and whatever to get a signature on something, and then it's like that was adjourned again because they didn't get the signature. Eventually he got the signature, and then the lawyer, the guy lawyer that wasn't on island, and then he changed lawyers. So it's like right now he's representing himself.
Wow, there are
Okay.
so many loopholes that you can jump through to delay the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
We probably need
Right.
a special court to deal with those SA cases.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's that same court they have to deal with
all kind of
arrests.
matters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the
Or we
last
should
time
have
it was adjourned because the magistrate now had a higher priority case to deal with before 3 o'clock, so he couldn't see us. So I wasn't even mad at him because of that, because it wasn't his fault. He didn't plan for it, and it was
But if we had more magistrates, then that would take care of that our situation like that.
you know
Or,
many courts we have.
or designated a magistrate that deals solely with SA. So the SA cases get priority on. He or she maybe deals with other cases, but once an SA case is involved, it gets priority with that magistrate, quote unquote, an SA court. That yeah, I think
or
we
something
need
else.
or
Something.
family court or relationship court or
Yeah.
some type of court that deals with SA and related issues.
Yeah,
Or something else that could probably help is like how she said that each switch lawyers are now representing himself. Like in other countries, according to the situation, they might just assign a lawyer to you.
they did
Yes.
assign a lawyer to him,
But then you
and
can still drop that lawyer, even if they assign your lawyer to you. Can say that's just a loophole in the legal system.
Mm.
He can choose after a while to represent himself if he feels that the lawyer is not representing his best interests.
right, that's why he got rid of that lawyer, and then he was trying to get another lawyer, and he came up with some kind of story. That's why he was representing himself because his boss um trying to get his lawyer not to represent him or something of the sort. So I don't know about that. So he has no lawyer. So he's trying to see, I think, if he can get somebody from a legal aid to represent him or something of the sort. So
So let me ask, in case someone is listening to this program, what do you hope that the listeners take away from your story? Is it hope, defiance, perseverance? What do you want them to take away from hearing your story on this podcast?
to speak up. Don't keep it on your chest because it's going to eat away at you and it's going to drive you mad and insane. Speak up, speak out, shout, scream if you have to. Get it off your chest, get off your mind. And I realize the more you speak on something, is the less power it has over you. And that has been my truth for years and years and years. Like
That's true.
I can give multiple stories and just tell it like, yeah, and people will be like so shocked that you went through this or this happened to you because I've spoken about it and it no longer has power over me.
Over you, right?
Right. The power of the tongue is
Yep.
very powerful.
And you're not alone. There's somebody you probably seen that going through it, that's smiling and telling jokes on Facebook like me all
Yeah.
the time. because I know what it is to be in a dark place, and my purpose is to make people happy and listen to you when you want to talk. So find
And
somebody you can talk to. Like after
I'm
I
just,
shared my story, a few people inboxed me and told me their stories, and I was like, "Whoa, I had no idea. Like we don't have any idea that this person went through this, but then they're acting so normal." Jen,
Yeah.
yeah,
so talk. Let's talk about it.
I remember when I was managing Levy Dominic and the stories were being shared. There are hundreds of stories, and
Yep.
you'd be surprised. We got these stories. We share them anonymously, but I know some of the persons who submitted their stories, and you'd be surprised from every aspect of Dominican society. There are persons who are survivors of sexual assault. So, and you see them on Facebook smiling, giggling, and you know to yourself they are carrying this heavy load, this
Yeah.
emotional burden.
Yep.
And sometimes, like you say, once you share your story, you give persons the power to also share theirs, and that helps in the healing process. So
It
I
does.
want to encourage you to continue what you are doing in terms of speaking on, of your situation. As an advocate, use it to empower yourself and others. And I want to commend you for being very open, very frank with us, and sharing as much as you are able to share. We know it's a very ticklish subject, and we know it's before the court, so you cannot give too much details. But we were very, very happy that you definitely took the time to be open with us and to be frank. And yeah,
Thank you for
Yes. So, you know, I think it's a good thing that we speak about those things because now more people can understand that it's important to be kind to others, even people you don't know, because you never know what people really going through. And with that, I want to say that that's a wrap on our episode today, guys. And we hope the audience found this discussion informative, inspiring, and a little bit thought provoking.
before we end, Olana, I want to ask if you have any last words that you want to share with our viewers.
if you ever find yourself needing to breathe, just go in nature. Ground yourself, stand up in grass without shoes, and just breathe in some clean air and just shout. Yeah, just shout. And
Just shout.
yeah.
I'm gonna try that soon. Just shout. Thanks again, Lana, for that. Thanks for
Thank
joining us
you. Thank
today.
you.
Thank you very much. And to our
Awesome.
viewers, if you have any questions, comments, or even suggestions for future topics, please feel free to reach us on our various social media handles on YouTube, on our Facebook page, Jordan the Shabin. We are open to speaking on various topics, and we are looking to bringing you very serious conversations as well as light-hearted and as well. So it's a very good mix that we want to bring to you. So feel free to reach out to us. And once again, I want to say thanks to Lana Green for joining us this afternoon. And it's a very eye-opening topic, and we were pleased by the way you shared it with us this afternoon.
Any other survivors out there, please use this as inspiration to at least tell someone your story if you haven't told anyone before, confident or whatever it may be. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day.
Yeah, and
Bye.
this is a safe space, so you can come in as well to our show to speak on your topic.
Bye.
Bye.